When we last reviewed our brand, that was 2006, and at that stage we were very aspirational. So we reflected on who we are, what's important to us, what matters, where we want to go, who we want to go there with. We feel now is the real time to be able to have a brand that reflects all of that.
So I did feel that our brand wasn't perhaps reflecting what I wanted it to, and so I had a conversation with Rob, and I just said, I think it might be time to look at the Incredible Sea, and it might be time for us to move away from that, and it might be time for us to just look at what we're saying to the outside world and how we're defining ourselves. Bearing in mind that the previous rebrand that we'd gone through, that was about 2 years into Rob becoming CEO, and I did think, that represented his movement into that position and into kind of being the captain of the ship. And I knew that he would be connected to the brand, so I wasn't quite sure how that conversation would go. I suppose it isn't any surprise, really, that Rob just completely embraced it and he went, if that's what you think the right thing to do, then let's explore it and let's go for it. We spoke to USP, who have worked with us for years and years and years and know us as well as anybody could, and that, brought along by their team. And then there was my amazing little team, the marketing team. There's only 4 of us, so we're small, but my God, we're mighty. And when you look at this brand and you look at the detail, you see the blood, sweat and tears of Dean and Kate and Joe and Sam and the wider team as well, because we believe in it. It matters to us and we love it.
So the first thing that we did was we held a workshop here at USP, and we had the whole of the board here, and we spent a day with them, and it was a fantastic experience. Very insightful, quite emotional at times. And our job as the brand consultants, if you like, is to literally hold a mirror up to the client and push and challenge and question and poke and say, is the way that you're doing things now right? So we went through a very, very exciting, interesting, hard, long day with the whole of the board. But what came out of that, and I think this is the really important thing with brand, it's never about us. We don't come up with the brand. The brand is a reflection of the people in the organisation. And all we do is we gather those insights together and we almost kind of package them up, put a little bow on the top of them. But the insights that came from everybody, the words, the messages, the sentiments, was absolutely fantastic. And we came away from that day with a wealth of information. It was fantastic. It was like the gift that just kept giving on giving, really. So it was lovely.
It was quite an interesting exercise we went through. We went back to basics, really. So the rebrand often you might think is a refresh or an update to something, but we took it right back down to basics and looked at what makes us tick, what makes us excited, why we're here more than anything else, rather than what we said last time and refining that. So I really enjoyed that real deep dive and breakdown into the fundamental things that make us tick and get out of bed and come in with a smile on our face.
It was always really important to me that our brand told the story of the custodians that run it. So it was obviously necessary to bring the board along on that journey. And we had this really cool session over at USP's studio with the board where we said, do you know what, let's take it right back to basics. Who are curtains? What are the words that come to your mind when you think about curtains, when you want to describe them? What matters to us? It was fascinating. It was actually, I don't know, it was almost a bit emotional, to be honest, when we stripped it back and then we kind of built it up from there and we inserted the detail, we inserted the greater kind of brand promises, but ultimately it's built from those foundation blocks that were defined by the board in that original workshop.
Before I started designing anything for Curtins, when we did the workshop and we got a lot of feedback from them, I looked at references that I felt fitted into where they saw themselves. So that was Reed Miles, all his Blue Note records, the way they use typography, the monotone photography, the balance that's in that, and also Swiss typography. It's simple colour palettes, it's just brilliant layouts that kind of look a bit off kilter, but there's an underlying grid to all of those. And I think that shines through in what we've done.
I love the way with the brand that there are certain things that just click with you. They resonate. You remember them. I remember the first time that I saw the pattern, which is a breakdown of the C from the logo, built up into this beautiful kind of organic, natural pattern, which for me takes me right back to the kind of structures that you see in nature, whether that's like honeycomb or something like that. That really kind of struck me as such a strong, powerful, but also elegant and beautiful asset that we can use.
The thing that I'm most proud of would actually be the logo type itself, the Curtins logo, because that is, as far as I'm concerned, absolute precision. The logo's been under the microscope. We've wanted to bring elements of the structure of the letters together, so when it's like scaled up on like bits of paper or on the side of buildings or wherever it might be used, it's got such an integrity to it that everything is in complete alignment. And obviously, because it's an engineering company, I want the engineers going out there being proud and knowing the fact that that care has been put into that logo, and that's now on their headed piece of paper.
One of the things that was really important is that the brand truly reflects the ethos and the essence of Curtins and everybody in it. So whilst we work with the board and the senior leadership team, I've got to know a lot of people over the years. I've spent a lot of time with and around Curtins. And I think we brought all of those learnings into this process of development and created something that, wasn't just what the board wanted. It really does reflect the entire organisation, whether you're a graduate starting out at Curtins or whether you're somebody that's been there a very long time. We wanted this brand to truly reflect all the aspects of the business.
When we reflected on what's important to us and what are our values, they haven't changed. They're still the same. We're just talking about them in a more positive way, in a more confident way than we ever have before.
As a business, we never stand still, so I think it's very important to look back on, where we've moved to and how we've grown over time and how we've matured as a business and how we continue to push boundaries and look forward to the future and the opportunities that come with that.
So I think if you'd have asked Bill Curtin to write down 4 values that defined his business when he set out in 1960, he'd have written being human, being honest, making a difference, learning, developing and improving. And the values we've described here over 60 years later are effectively the same thing. Defined differently, described differently, brought up to date, but the same message at its heart.
I suppose what resonates most with me is the being human. And that to me means about being inclusive, being able to come to work as your true self.
Our value of being human is really important because it means that we're developing relationships constantly with all of our stakeholders, and I think developing those relationships is how we achieve the success we have in the construction industry.
I introduced myself as finance director, but I'm a father of 2 young girls, 3 and 5. That's my other role. I'm not just finance director, and I feel that's recognised at Curtins that, through whether it's our hybrid working policy or staff benefits, we're always being thought of as more than just an employee. We go home, we take off our Curtins hat and, you put dad, husband, son hat back on. We want to be able to help our employees as much as we can. Of course, we want to recognise and reward people through profit share and EOT, but it's looking at other ways we can benefit staff and look after them.
I think integrity is critical to what we do, to be honest. We have a huge responsibility as engineers in terms of the investments that we realise and the impact we make on our environment, and integrity's got to be at the heart of that. It's a high-risk industry. We make high-risk decisions. We make them collectively, and we have to do that with integrity at all times. I think ultimately clients respect that integrity because they see it as acting in their best interest as well as ours.
Integrity is a key part of what we do. We have to make decisions that are good for our clients, for our people, and the world around us.
Integrity, we say what we mean and we mean what we say, both in our relationships internally and our relationships externally. The building blocks of this business have been based on integrity, openness, transparency, honesty, trust and respect.
I think impact is a really strong value. So both internally and externally. So internally, the impact we provide to people in their lives and providing them with a job with enrichment. We talk a lot about bringing your authentic self to work, so we kind of create an environment where people can really be their true selves, but also the opportunity to grow and thrive within that environment. And then also externally, that impact is all about the legacy we can create within in our environments, the powers of change that we can provide and support. So a lot of our work is about social development, and construction is now moving in that direction of making positive social change. So we're actually enabling those things to happen in the environment around us.
The roles that we all play really do impact everyone, and we some of the small changes we make have the biggest impact to the wider business, but also some of those bigger impacts almost are really important and have the biggest effect, whether that's around efficiency or security or whatever it is for that period. So yeah, really important value, and means a lot to me and the wider team as well.
Curiosity to me is about being interested in everything we do, wanting to improve everything that we do, and trying to do things in a better way. So we encourage people to never stop learning. We want people to find new ways of doing things, innovative ways of doing things, to be curious and to explore the world around them and how we can do things better.
It's absolutely essential that we are curious Curtins, and we're constantly looking for ways to change and find out and learn and gain experience through lessons learned and best practice. Yeah, so curiosity is absolutely key to moving forward, continual improvement.
We're not reinventing the wheel with this. This brand, it is us. It's come from what our colleagues have said. We've sat down with lots of colleagues in numerous workshops where they've shared what Curtins means to them, being family friendly, being curious and caring. All of those words are translated into the brand and into our identity. So it's not something that's been put together by an external agency. In fact, the agency that we've been working with, they've been working with us for years. They know us, they know Rob, and they've worked with us to produce something that's just truly authentic. It belongs to us. So when people look at the brand and say, well, that is Curtins, that is us.
The majority of rebrands solely focus on the external presence, whereas this brand really focuses on the internal. I've never worked as part of a branding exercise where there's been this much focus on an internal aspect and how the staff see it. So everything from benefits packages, well-being schemes, training academies, those sort of things, each have their own distinct identity now. Having all these new colours and new assets, it's going to be like more human and it's going to be more people focused.
USP has been working with brands for over 35 years now. And I personally have worked with brands, big and small, at all different stages of their journey. But working with Curtins has been really different. And I think it's because we have mutual respect. I've worked with Curtins for a long time. I know the organisation well. I love Curtins. I love what Curtins stands for. I love the people. I love the fact that they trust us to do what we do. I think we almost have a symbiotic relationship in a way where we can feed off each other, and by doing that it's truly collegiate, collaborative, and I think we've got some of our best work ever.
I'm really proud of what we've done and where we've arrived to, and the solutions that we've come out with. Working with Curtins is incredible, and I really genuinely think it's because of the collaboration. It's been our experience, their experience, and together it's been like a melting pot of ideas. It's been really special.
Part of the brand is the promise that Curtins are going to make to their customers and to themselves, and their promise is building a better future. And those words are so perfect because in every aspect of Curtins, they build a better future, whether it's for their staff, whether it's for the communities that they serve, whether it's for the built environment. There are no more perfect words than building a better future.
A brand is so much more than a logo, isn't it? A brand is the sum of parts, and I think that really is true for us, because those parts, whether that's being people-focused with quality at the heart of what we do, it's the way that we approach things with integrity always, to make sure that what we're producing and the service that we offer to our clients is the best they can possibly get, is the best that they can possibly expect, because what we want is for people to come back to us, and we want to make sure that our brand reflects that promise.
Today, as I sit here, we're more confident than ever about who we are and where we want to go to. We're confident about the people we work with. We're confident about how we can work with each other, how we can develop each other, how we can support each other to be the best versions of themselves. We've never felt in a stronger position than we are now. So this is the ideal time to launch our brand.